Today we embark on something we should have been involved in a few hundred years ago. You guys are going to try and encourage our young fellas to vote, to join into a system that we've felt oppressed by, burnt by, because it incites change. How do we change something if we're not a part of a conversation? How do we complain about an outcome if we're not involved in the conversation? So this is our opportunity to guide the way we move in the future, the way our people are represented, and encourage significant change, meaningful change, and acceptance in the wider community.
Yeah, I think it's important to vote because, you know, the legacy that we inherit from those who've passed on from our elders and our ancestors. You know, they worked incredibly hard and campaigned not only across the state but across the entire country to enable us the privilege and the democratic right to vote and participate in a democratic society. And I think there's a lot of power in that, and I think it's on us and our generations come to not only participate in this space and utilise our right to vote, but also to be informed and make an informed decision about why you're voting and who you're voting for.
It's so important for Indigenous people to be voting now because of not having the opportunity to be able to in the past. You know, there's a lot going on and there's a lot of change that could be happening, and for that to happen we need to be able to really put our say out there and vote for what we think's right.
Because I think it's, you know, the impetus is on us as Aboriginal people that so much of our life is politicised and we don't have a control over that. But what we can control is how we can influence those decisions rather than having decisions made about us from people who don't know who we are. Us having a seat at the table and being able to inform those decisions will only be better for us as a community and as a people.
I think the advice I would give to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people that are voting for the first time is to be informed and be confident in voting. So it is a big first step, but I think it's really important to know why you're voting. So I think if you're aware of that and aware of who you're voting for and what you're voting for, that's the most important thing, yeah.
Be comfortable in the uncomfortable. So when we're talking about, you know, having challenging conversations with people whose political ideologies may not, you know, align with yourself, can be confronting, can be challenging. And I think that's where that's where education and that's where being informed comes from. It's not about just having and surrounding yourself around people who solely, you know, believe the things that you believe. By challenging yourself and becoming well-rounded and well-informed, you can give yourself a much more holistic opinion, and you can approach things from a far more holistic way of thinking. And I think that only betters us as people because, you know, we have to be able to live in that uncomfortability because we grew up in it, we were raised in it. So we've got to be better by it, and to use it for our power.
I think it's really important for First Nations people to engage in the upcoming election is because of the society that we live in at the moment is so, like, it's moving so fast and evolving that we need people, especially in the younger generations, to vote so we can get that change to start happening in Parliament, so we can get our voices heard at the same speed that we're evolving in.